All right, so welcome back from the musical. sorry, sorry, precious and something. Anyway. So at this point, we're going to be talking about the gospel music space, the outlook for 2025, which artists we should be looking out for. Maybe already some of the songs that have been released right at the death of last year, December into January to this year, which will become big hits. Which one should we be looking forward to? So I've got SOG Precious. He's an instrumentalist. He's a music director. He's a praise and worship leader. And he's a talent manager. And he's a blogger. And he's a married man. If you follow his post on Facebook, you see. Precious, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Bro, good afternoon. Thank you so much. I'm good.
Afishapa.
I think committee office now be fine.
Yeah.
Office now back now worry.
Then.
Is now back now worry.
Okay, I dey show my own, so if the other one too like I make you show you. ZK,
Bro,
you like this is your seat when you come here.
Customized one.
Yeah, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. At least we don't do presidential blogging.
Presidential blogger.
Saw you at the Thanksgiving.
Yes, I was at the Thanksgiving.
How did it go?
It was.
Hey, let me tell you.
I want to say it was like a church service.
Hey,
So obviously, I think it was about 3 hours.
really? I
Yeah.
thought it was more than that.
No, it was like 3 hours.
They close in the evening, no?
We closed around I think 7:30.
Hey.
Around that time.
Okay, on that
It was a
note-
nice experience though.
Okay.
Seeing political heads coming together to come and worship and pray to God for the coming years and all. It was a beautiful experience.
Great stuff. 2025. I remember you were here. We talked about our top entertainers.
10 of the year.
Yeah, top entertainers, the entertainer for the year, and then the gospel space. The name that kept coming in was Team Eternity, and I'm sure, both of you know that Empress Gifties, Watch Me,
Yeah.
has also done a lot of wonders in 2024, getting into 2025. Precious, your general outlook as the year ended in 2024, 2025, which people will eat them boys meet city to say, hey, Charlie, this guy really falls through. Like this year has to be like a big one.
Okay. So our first of greet everyone watching us, and I appreciate you for the opportunity to share our views with people watching us. 2024 was an amazing year for the gospel scene, and I always like to start my conversations regarding gospel music with the fact that gospel music has the best vocalists. We have one of the best or a couple of good events in the entire entertainment scene. We have good songs, we have good instrumentalists, we have good productions. That is how I like to start conversations.
Well, I think
on the gospel scene.
It's even been established on year. You said it's already
yeah, I mean, I just have to say it. I just have to say it in a person. Yes. But the year
fine.
2024, I think we had a good year. And with regards to who made sense in 2024, who actually did well, I think most definitely you mentioned Team Eternity, and I think they tried their best. They got the spotlight on them like all through the year after a few of their songs came into the limelight. So Team Eternity, then I'll do Diana Hamilton as usual, because she actually did her events and she had a few good songs. She had Doing of the Lord, that featured a Nigerian artist, a big one as
I
such.
think she's also one of those people where even if she's not releasing a song, she's always in the face of people. Like you get to see her around.
She actually has lots of stuff she's doing. She is based in the UK, right?
Yeah,
But you find her on major gigs in Ghana. It means that the team down here is doing very well with her in and out and all that.
Okay.
So from Diana Hamilton, I'll do a Joe Mettle, because he had his stadium concert that was like the first of its kind for the gospel scene. I'm not saying first, but I mean in a long while we've had
Most
Joe
of
Mettle.
it we have had were churches doing stage.
Exactly, but for a
stadium.
single artist to put that together, it was Charlie a human's job, and he did it so well. He had lots of people come to the stadium, and it was a blessing. Apart from that, he had beautiful songs on his album, Satisfy. He had a song, Give Me Oil,
Give Me Oil.
that was all over the place.
Oba, Wamba also.
Very beautiful
Yeah.
songs. And I think he did very well 2024 year under review. Then we can go to an Empress Gifty who hosted 2 shows like in a month, right?
In a week.
In a week.
Trek.
Trek. Yes. One somewhere inside Medina, thereabouts, inside, then another one at the National Theatre, right? And these shows were very beautiful shows that made a lot of sense. So for her zeal and for her charisma to do 2 shows in a week, I think we'd have to give it to her. Her song Watch Me, well promoted, very beautiful lyrics. I mean, well executed. So I think Empress Gifty did splendidly well. Then we'll come to a PACS star, most especially for her appearances at events. And she had a very beautiful song, Attorney, which most people are saying that it didn't really turn like that, like her previous songs, which we can actually debate with figures, but that's not a conversation for today. But I think that she did splendidly well, and I think she deserves it. So I think I've named about 5.
You've named number 5. So
5. Yeah, I think
essentially,
it should be okay.
even if this year's TGMA comes off, you're looking at these people probably popping up into the artist of the year. I mean, the gospel artist of the year
Most definitely.
category. Z.
Let's see.
Yeah. I think this year what I'm also looking forward to is our churches doing a lot for our artists. I think they do a lot of that, but we've seen new auditoriums coming in and all of that, and some of the artists going there to perform with these ministers and all of that. This year, me, I did watch that part. What do you think?
I think previously we've seen some churches come out with their own record labels to help music artists from the church. I would say that when the initiative came out, we received it with a good embrace because we felt it was a very good step looking at how marginalized the industry is when it comes to lack of record labels. The church have become a go-to when it comes to support for these artists. This year, I'm hoping that most of the labels that actually came up the previous years would be more vibrant because some actually came out strong, but they've been a bit inactive.
Okay.
Yes, so this year, I'm hoping that most of the churches that came up with labels would actually help to bring out more talent from the church because there are a lot of people with talent, but they are not heard because they don't have the means and the resources.
The means to do that.
But that notwithstanding, I feel Keeper's music has been very consistent when it comes to promoting their artists. I think for the past 3 or 4 years, they've been very consistent. Every year, they bring a new face. Every year. The likes of Ney, Tansi, Flora, like they've been amazing. They've been very, very consistent with pushing their music artists and talents from the church. So this year, that is one of my biggest expectations, that the church will really push
a lot of these young artists. So back to the question I asked Precious about 2024, getting into this year, he's talked about. Do you agree with that list or the other people you want to add?
I think I agree with the list, but definitely I'll do some additions.
Okay.
When I'm looking at the year under review, I'm looking at the year in terms of events, in terms of music, and in terms of general visibility.
Okay.
You get it? So when we break these 3 fragments, I can equally bring each artist into certain categories when it comes to these areas. I'll mention Dan Hamilton, who had obviously a very good year. With one of the big songs in the space, The Doing of the Lord, featuring Mercy Chinwo. A song that actually catapulted Ghanaian music beyond the 4 corners of the country.
When it was released, I think, it was on this table that conversations like, as I didn't have faster, as I said,
no trial.
I said that, but I don't know, all of a sudden the song just
there are songs that you would have to listen to it over. Or
it
has
will
to
take
be
a while
promoted
to build
before.
up. And it was one of those songs. It was one of those songs.
And Dan Hamilton is one artist who has been very consistent. She does a lot of events, Ghana, Kumasi, Accra, then she will do
the
UK. I think even last year, she even extended her territories a bit to, I think, another country. Yes. So Dan Hamilton has been consistent, and obviously I'll give it to her. I'll look at Joe Mettel. Obviously, last year, we saw one of the biggest gospel events at the stadium with a lot of attendance. As Precious is saying, for a very long time, we hadn't seen that. But Sonny Badu equally did that, I think, about 10, 11 years ago, anyways. But for a long time, we saw a huge one. It used to be the churches, but an individual artist frontlining such an event was a very, very big move for the gospel industry. I would say Tahila Experience, obviously, event. Ohima Messi was visible. Filling the Oil Dome. She filled the Oil Dome once again. It's huge. MOG was visible. Sonny Badu came back again with Rhythms of Africa. Diffe was a big song. Definitely, Team Eternity had a very good year. Not just in Ghana, but they went to Halal Africa. That's Halal Africa, South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah. They went to champion a very good cause for Ghanaian music. MOG also did well. He did a couple of events in UK, US as well.
I think
he performed
with
at a school in the US. I think that performance will be one of my best performances.
MOG?
MOG.
Wow. He posted on his YouTube. It's from one of a university in the US.
Wow.
Nankutin there too, with the white, people backing him.
Is the production out?
I've not seen. I've not seen anything
I'll
like
share,
that.
when we're done, I'll try and get that and share it with you.
Okay.
But MOG, I think, also did quite well.
With events, I'll not let us take out SK Frimpong's event in Takrady.
Yeah.
Most
Dynamic
definitely.
Quiz.
Most definitely.
Yeah, no, true.
Dynamic Quiz was a big one.
Most definitely.
He's done that for a while.
Yeah.
But this last year's one was very.
Last year was the first time he went outside.
So I mean,
have people coming.
he deserves his flowers. I mean,
and support.
yeah.
Many a times people think that we mention the usuals.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, for the Joe Metal Empress, Dinah, PSC, yet one can die.
Yeah.
Which people are you looking at to break the ceiling for the whole Ghana and begin to see the work that, as people who work with them or who have seen them, do it, that no, this person needs to be out there, Precious?
Okay, so one of our challenges in the gospel scene or the fraternity is that we find it difficult introducing new faces.
Okay.
Year after year, we see people almost rising, almost there. Then next year, we don't see them again, or we find them at the same point for like over 10 years or 5 years. But 2025, we are trusting God that some of these artists, some names that I would mention most definitely, I would start with SK Frimpong. He has lots of projects which I'm privy to that are coming up that I think should be able to break that wall or that line. SK1, then I'll do a Queen Darling. She has a song featuring Judy K. That's a very, very big song, and I think she's trying her best to promotion. I'll do a Terry Johnson. This Terry Johnson guy is...
Terry Johnson, I've heard the name. He had a concert...
Exactly, at Emmanuel Presby.
December 15. Oh, yeah.
Yes, at Emmanuel Presby, and it was like a very beautiful event, and it was geared towards the Ghana community, and he had a full house, he had overflow, and I mean, he's one guy that I'm actually watching him like blow up. Okay. I'm looking at the Elvis Bentels, I'm looking at the Nisakes, Jacqueline. I mean, all these are names of artists. See, we have about 450 billion
a lot of
emerging artists who are doing splendid
stuff.
One thing I appreciate about these emerging guys is that they don't compromise on their production.
Even though they are not exactly.
They are not there, but they try to give out good productions, with the exception of a few. I think the ones that, as in the names I've mentioned, they spend a lot of money on their productions. You hear the kind of monies that go into their productions, and you're like, Charlie Fape BBA. But it is a mandate, it's a calling, so they can't do away with it. So these names I've mentioned are just a few. I mean, for the Kwekutes, the Philippa Jalis, I mean, all these names. Splendid guys, Rose McAfee, all of them are doing their best. So this year, these are a few people that I think I could mention off head, and I pray that they would break through.
What really is the problem even in the secular space, when an artist himself says, I've established the label, and I'm trying to put other artists on, we can see some happenings for, the first few months. If they drop some song where the song blow, but if the song knows that blow, it takes a while. But chance artists in the court, and nothing happens. In the gospel space, Jometo signed Enyonyam and Luigi McLean. McLean released the tape, beautiful tape, which I believe should be out there more. Don't you think so? Why are we having issues with the painful in the game exactly holding hands of the younger people and putting them, of course, they'll give them a platform to perform on their shows and all of those things, but isn't there more that can be done to help the younger ones coming in?
I think looking at this conversation for the past years, I would say we've made improvements when it comes to the already made artists helping the younger ones. We've seen a lot of artists sharing stages, that's upcoming artists sharing stages with the already made artists, which I would say is a step in the right direction. We are not there yet, but there has been some sort of improvement. When it comes to the record label issue, I feel every record label should have structures. It's not just about the artist creating a label and letting the whole world know that now I have a label and I have this artist signed on and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, with my little research, most of the thriving record labels out there, they have individual managers for each artist.
Okay.
They have individual PR for each artist. I don't know if you're following the conversation.
I get it.
So it's not just about the label being for maybe artist A and he assigned this. So we are expecting, what are the structures in place? Are there structures in place? Are these people having individuals frontlining their music career for them? Or everything goes back to the A-list artists we know?
Okay.
That's a very big question. So when there are structures in place, the A-list artists will have that free will to equally do whatever that he's supposed to do without necessarily spending so much time on the ones he has signed.
Okay.
So it goes back to structural work. If there are no structural work, the artist can be signed, but as time goes on, they'll gradually fall off. But if there are structures in place, I know a couple of structures in Nigeria where an A-list artist has a label, but he has employed other managers to manage the artists he has signed.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
So in that space of time, he can concentrate on whatever he's doing, and the other ones he has signed can equally be regulated with the help of the managers that have been signed.
Okay. If you just tuning in, I'm talking to Precious and Zeke. We're talking about the outlook for the gospel industry 2025. What are some of the things that you've seen that 2025 we need to correct in the gospel space? And so think about that. We're taking a break. When we come back, and then I'll ask about gospel bloggers 2025, what you want from the artists. We'll be back shortly after the break. I asked a big question before the break, and I'm sure by now my guests they've sold the team. What challenges are with the gospel space that 2025? If we cannot correct them, all of it, at least there should be some improvements. Okay, you should see what is happening. Okay, let's go to the married man. Is there?
Okay, so one advantage of being married is you're always prepared.
Okay.
So come to me.
Okay. What
Bro, you don't be shady, right?
We are not married, but you're always prepared. Forget.
What should we work on as a space?
Okay, I think it's quite a dicey question because you wouldn't want to step on toes because it's fresh a year. You can't start a year by stepping on toes. I think one of my major challenges with our gospel scene has got to do with, I call it the one goal project. I mean, we have an entire year and we have big shots releasing just one song in the year.
Okay.
this is not, or probably there's not like a rule that says that you should release a lot of songs or whatever it is. But people need more from you to consume. That aside, we get to the end of the year, or we get into the year under review, and we find our One Go Project artists fighting for Artist of the Year with artists from the other end who have released albums, who have released, EPs. And on the EPs and on the albums, there are 3 songs that are hit songs.
Okay.
It makes it difficult for gospel commentators like ourselves fight harder for
Push
things
that
like
they should get in there. Okay.
But I think this year looks quite different because it's January and Dana Hamilton has already released.
Okay.
It's January, and I think we have a release from Joe Metal from like late December, which will fall into the calendar year. And we I know other artists who have.
Sonny is out with a song.
Sonny's out with a song. Other artists and even the young guys are also having songs that they are yet to release. This is actually a good sign. And I know Dana would not release a song in January and not release again till the end of the year. There would most definitely be songs. So this year looks promising. If they are planning not to release again, please, that is one thing we should change. Then secondly, collaborations, like you mentioned.
Okay.
See, it's high time our big guys hold the hands of our younger guys to come in. Most definitely, we know that they are trying their best wherever they are. And the top guys have also tried. Some say that the younger ones are disrespectful. Some say that they don't submit. Some say they don't serve and all that. But I think it is high time we speak to them, overlook some of their flaws, and bring them closer. That way we can be able to teach them what we expect them to know. Then have them on a few songs. If it's a song by the main artist featuring the young artist, which Joe Metal has done so well.
Yeah, Joe Metal,
Yes.
I think for
So
him is...
with featurings, when the younger one features the older one, sometimes it does not really...
The older, truly, the older people don't promote it.
Yes. They don't promote it. Even with the little push they give, it doesn't really ring a bell.
Yeah.
Yes. But when the older one actually puts a younger one on his or her project,
It's got the audience already.
It makes a lot of sense. You tap into their fan base. That is one thing we should look at.
Okay.
So these 2 things I think should be just
I'll tell you mine. It's good.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead.
I think with mine, I would say when it comes to PR after events, is very terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our PR after events is very bad. You can see these artists putting so much energy into promoting the event.
Okay.
But when the event becomes a huge success, that's it.
It's not talked about.
It's not talked
They
about.
do
No
not engineer for it to be... Because there are 2 ways.
Yeah.
They could pay media people to come and cover. You can come and sit and just say, And there's also an engineering from their side that could create the talkability for us to talk about the event. So which one are you referring to?
So I'm talking about both, because before the event, they put all those factors in place to make the event a success. Obviously, when the event is over, there should be that post PR to let people know what actually happened and the success the event has amassed.
Okay.
Because when it comes to conversations on board meetings and all of that, the visibility and talkability of the event is also a key factor.
Most definitely.
You get it? And sometimes these events get all the success, they get the numbers, the solid production, but we don't talk about it again. Once the event is done and we close, that's it. So I feel it's something that we need to check this year. The Christian fraternity or the gospel space is doing a lot, like amazingly well. If you look at the VGMAs, it's over the past 3 years, is the gospel artists in the category that gives the scheme talkability.
Most definitely. Yeah.
So it tells you that our gospel artists, they are doing so well, but our PR should be stronger. My second one has to do with, you see, when it comes to getting artists for events, we always recycle the same artists, these same faces over and over again. If you are looking for Joe Metal and Joe Metal is not around, if you are looking for emoji and emoji has traveled, if you are looking for this, and it becomes difficult to get an artist.
That is all.
And it's something that is really disturbing.
Emoji, and if it agrees,
and sometimes you can be calling them and they are outside the country. So it makes it very difficult to get artists for specific events. You get it? I feel this year we need to have a lot of breakthrough artists, like new. Trust me, there are people who sing. There are people, beautiful talents out there. I feel we have to bring them up. The A-list artists should help them. The industry should help them. And as Precious said, some of them is believed that Obama ungratefulness. So even if you want to help them, crowd, then you are shying away a bit. But that notwithstanding, I feel we have to put measures in place to get a lot of breakthrough artists this year. So the two things I don't like: one, PR after events. It's not good. And the second one, we recycle same faces every year.
I agree with you. You go for events and the same people. We had a person sing last week.
The same reps.
The same reps. The same
you
thing.
can predict the songs.
So I could actually hit a friend and tell you, Charlie, they go this key, they go. No,
That's it. No. You know, a friend of mine shared with me. It's one of these online streaming platforms who wanted gospel artists. Maybe from here, I would share with you that they want to put them on a schedule on their streaming platform.
Okay.
Charlie, the names are given in the list. And so they reach out, they came back to say, are your people why? They know aren't they interested in, these online music streaming platforms, those things. So for me this year, I don't know, maybe I'm the best one someone when I'm over.
Yes, hi, Mao.
Also, yes, sir. Anyway, Charlie, this year, what are you working on now? Which artists should be looking forward to you working on? Anything you're working on now?
Most definitely, SK Frimpong. I mentioned earlier, I happen to be his manager, and it's a blessing working with him. I think we should look out for his works, watch out for his works coming out. Then secondly, I happen to also work with Hertie Koji, who is actually in the US. Big shout outs to her. She also has amazing projects coming up. Guys, watch out for. I work with a couple of artists. I mean, the Nisakes. I mean, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
And you have to sign me too.
Okay,
what are you working on?
I think this year I'm
working.
working.
Or Prophet. Prophet, yeah,
Prophet Praise or say.
Aha.
Yeah. So I think this year I'm working with artists and churches, and I'm also doing corporate staff branding as well. The artists, I'm working with Dr. Sonny Badu, obviously. Then I'm working with Ebuka Songs from Nigeria. I'm doing something with Diana Hamilton. And I'm hoping to work with everyone. Yeah.
Charlie, crazy portfolio.
Crazy portfolio. Crazy,
yeah.
Both of them, Charlie.
Nigeria experience or something else.
And something we need to talk about
again. We share another time.
I think this year we need to have more conversations. Thank you very much, brothers, for joining me. SOG Precious.
Bro, your platform is very huge. The kind of messages I'm getting from Instagram, from US, from UK, I mean, it's a blessing. I have to be here again.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much. SK,
the boss man.
give time some time. I will take you good advice. So. Guys, thank you very much for watching. My name is Desi the Starboy. Shouts to the production team. You want someone and the rest of the. I'm not going to continue with the mention of the names before I get into trouble. Or back tomorrow 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here on Entertainment Review on Metro TV. Do us follow us on our social media platforms and mine, Desi the Starboy, on all the platforms. And to all our gospel friends, Challenge Amunsha Mubebre 2025 will be a good one for all of you and for all of us who support you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Who is blameless, he is flawless.